But I'll tell you who is a complete piece of shit. I'm going to tell you right now.
There have been a lot of swear words at this
Tim
table today.
Walz.
Okay.
Walz does not belong at this level of American politics. Vance does. Final verdict, Tim Walz wandered into the wrong bar tonight. The governor of Minnesota, the Democratic candidate for vice president, wish casting the death of the President of the United States. I don't care how much you hate your political opponent, wishing death upon them and joking about it means you're a broken-brained SOB, and that's what he is. Walz is a buffoon. I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school. He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good. I mean, is a buffoon. I think when your signature move is jazz hands, you're not as up on the white guy code, maybe, as you think you are.
In the arms of the angel, fly.
Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gang. Keep it gang. Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gang. Keep it gang. Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gang. Keep it gang. Keep it gangsta, dog. Keep it gang. Keep it gang.
Oh, YouTube is gonna kill me tonight for all that music that's going on. But I had to play the clips, man. They're just too stinking good. What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Ace here. We're going to go through it. We got so much good stuff going on tonight. The return of Bongino, baby. Oh, man, he came back with some fire. We're going to cover that tonight. Blackpillers, a.k.a. retards. That's I just see, man, I had some Blackpillers hit me up today. Bongino had some words for them. Crazy day, man. Crazy day. Tim Walz is bye-bye Timmy Walz. I don't even have anything else to say about him. I mean, just screw that guy. He's terrible. I'm so glad he's gone. Remember, as I donned him back during the election, Baby Shrek he's out. He's back at the swamp, friends. He's back in the swamp, and good riddance. Nobody's going to miss that guy. Minnesota's better for it. Even if they get Amy de Klobuchar, who's awful, but, maybe slightly less awful than the guy who drinks the horse good stuff. If you remember that story, I'm not going to go too into it, but we got Venezuela follow-up still just roaring through the world. The more people look at it, the more they like it, unless they're libertarians or the left, which, has their own issues. So, we'll cover that. We'll cover how everybody's been given the big middle finger, the whole Trump team giving the middle finger to the UN, which is just like inject it into my veins. Speaking of injecting into the veins, we have a new vaccine schedule out thanks to the CDC, and man, just so much going on. We got a loaded show tonight. So welcome. So much to cover. Glad you're here for it. So before we get started, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. If you're on X, please hit that repost, share it with everybody, because this is the no black pill zone where people gonna wake up, see the truth, see what's really going on, and walk away encouraged and excited because we are winning. We are freaking winning. The wins keep coming. And it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive for the old US of A. We are bringing it back better than ever, just in time to celebrate 250 years. All right, let me say hey to the Chizat. If you're new here, please feel free to blow up the chat with your comments and questions. I do my best to answer them as much as possible. Wago Waco, numero uno tonight. What's up, buddy? 2026, lined up to be baller. I agree. US One, what's up, man? AJ Trader, D6, Cass Sink, Zach Butterfeld, Donna's in the house, Shogun, T.I. I love it. Jerry's here, Just Mike, Scott Volkovich, Vince Felice. Sorry about the Bears, brother. You guys did not get a pull on the playoffs, but you can still win it. 3 times beating the Packers, though, might be tough for you in one season, but it's possible. Oh man, what's going on? Linda Telly, good evening to you. Friend Jerry, the one, what it do? Bolts Van. No leering here. This is quality learning. So that's right, Bolts. I love it. Lochtefeld over on Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Yep, always hit me up in Rumble as well. If you're on X, unfortunately, I cannot see your comments, but it doesn't mean I don't care. I will get back to them when I can. So again, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's get on with the show, shall we? Well, guys, I want to start tonight with the one piece of crazy news and bad news, honestly, today. And that is that yesterday I made the comment that they were going to try to kill Vance because they were that terrified of him. Because after Trump, we're getting Vance. You better believe it. Just mark it down now. It's coming. And they're so freaking scared because Vance in some ways is more terrifying to them than Trump. Vance is a uniter. He has a skill that Trump doesn't have, which is communicating in a way where even the haters can listen. Vance, one of his master classes was how he handled the debate last year with Tim Walz, which was such an absolute destruction that even the mainstream media had to admit it. So Vance is terrifying them. And so what happened the day after I say that? His house gets attacked last night. Stuff gets shot up, smashed down with a hammer. This trans individual, which you see a pattern here, folks, went there. Thank God the Vance family isn't there. This was their Ohio home. They are, staying most of the time in the vice president's suite in D.C., but just crazy stuff. And it just tells you they are going to keep on doing what they can to take him out. And so, but hey, we're going to be vigilant. I believe the team, the administration is vigilant on this, knows what they're doing. But this is why so many of them, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, Tulsi Gabbard, are currently living on military bases because it's just, it's almost a death wish to work in the Trump administration, which is disgusting. But this is what the left has done. So from Mario Nalfall, he posts, J.D. Vance home attacker identified as trans daughter of Democratic donor surgeon. Huh. A Democratic surgeon has a trans kid? Interesting. Can't see that coming. Suspect accused of smashing windows of Vice President J.D. Vance's home has been identified as Julia DeFore, transgender woman formerly known as William DeFore. 2 wealthy Democratic donors. Arrested and charged with multiple counts after allegedly breaking into their residence. Grew up in luxury in Hyde Park. 10 elite schools. Child of William and Catherine DeFore. Pediatric doctors who've donated thousands. How disgusting is that? They're pediatric doctors, and they let their kid do this. It's so gross. This person's been violent before. And, I just, it just shows you. It shows you that we have to, pray every stinking day that this administration, this team stays safe. And this also shows you for all the, and I know it's not you guys, everybody who watches my show is too smart for this, but for all the Israel tards out there, Vance is controlled by Israel, or the Whitney Webbites, he's a technocrat, it's the Peter Thiel presidency, Palantir's gonna run everything. Yeah, come on, you dummies. He's a threat. Just like Trump, and this is why they're trying to kill him. So, I mean, you guys can make of it what you will, but I'm sorry, but in the history of this country, the politicians who are not threats don't get attacked constantly. That's just how it works. I'm sorry, we could go through the history. I'm not going to waste my time, but look it up and you'll find out. This is crazy, but again, unfortunately, I don't think this will be the last time we hear of something like this, especially towards J.D. Vance. They are terrified of him. So had to share that today, especially because we talked about it last night. And so thank God he answered our prayers, and the Vance family is completely safe and nowhere near where the attack happened. All right, let's move on to the more fun stuff. All right, so just 2 days after Venezuela, while sitting with the at the UN, we have our ambassador Waltz And I can't get enough of this. So let's watch and see how the Trump administration is currently handling. Oh, I hate when I do that. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. How the Trump administration is handling the UN.
Entering the United States and increasingly Europe. As Secretary Rubio stated just yesterday, this is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be used as a base of operation for our nation's adversaries and competitors and rivals of the United States. You can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Hezbollah, for gangs, for Cuban intelligence agents, and other malign actors that control that country. You cannot continue to have the largest energy reserves in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, under the control of illegitimate leaders, and not benefiting the people of Venezuela, and stolen by a handful of oligarchs inside of Venezuela. But it doesn't stop there. Numerous UN and international human rights organizations have issued reports documenting.
Inject it into my veins. Telling the UN off is always a favorite pastime here for me and the viewers of my show. We got Rubio also delivering his special piece as well. Let's let Rubio speak.
You're wrong in your question. Number one, Venezuela is a major source, and the reason why is the following. And I've seen a lot of this reporting, and it's fake reporting, and I'll tell you why. It says that somehow Venezuela is not involved in the drug trade because the UN says they're not involved in the drug. I don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about. Maduro is indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York. That means the Southern District of New York presented the evidence to a grand jury, and a grand jury indicted him. And then a superseding indictment came out that was unsealed about a year and a half ago that specifically detailed Maduro's actions. So number one, let there be no doubt, Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice. You're wrong in your question. Number one, Venezuela.
Any of our previous presidents or their administrations saying, we don't care what the UN says. The UN doesn't know what they're talking about. This is just so beautiful. And again, I mean, the proof just keeps coming out. Anybody who thinks that the Trump administration is just the same old, if they're just one of them, they're the wolves in sheep's clothing. They just look different on the outside. They talk a different game. I'm sorry. This doesn't happen. It's glorious. Again, inject it into my veins all day long. Screw the UN. We're done. This has not happened since the UN became a major part of global operations after World War II. It hasn't happened. We treated the UN as if it was a special place of bringing the world together. We're going to work together as a globalist, utopia. Out of World War II, we don't want any more world wars. The globe's coming together. League of Nations becomes UN, the big socialist experiment. I'm sorry. Screw you guys. We don't care about it anymore. International law does not apply here. It's not even a real thing. Who's going to enforce it? We do what we do. We are America. You guys can follow because we're going to be leading. Follow or get out of the way. That's the Trump administration. I love it. We don't care about all this stuff anymore. We don't care what France thinks, what Europe thinks, with England, Turkey. We don't care. Add somebody in there, China. We don't care. We just, it doesn't matter anymore. He said the words came out of his mouth. You think Marco only means it in this instance? No, he means it in all instances. Remember Trump's speech earlier this year, the powerful speech to the UN, just the big F you to you guys. If you guys are destroying your own countries, yeah, that's where we're at. It's glorious. It keeps happening. This Venezuela strike is being universally condemned, which what does that tell you? It means it was the right thing to do. Universally condemned by the globalists, universally condemned by the left, and universally condemned by the libertards. That tells you that it was the right thing to do. When all the wrong people are on the other side of it, don't listen to all the doomsayers out there. Don't listen to all the black pillars out there. They are all wrong. Look who they're siding with when they do that. I had a bunch of people today on X. I was getting into it with some people, major black pillar stuff. And the stuff they say is so stupid. It's so stupid. One guy was talking to me and I said, hey, I said, prices are going to go down because of deportations, 2.5 million so far. You know what he wrote back to me? Yeah, but a lot of those are self-deportations. Doesn't matter. Are they still here or not? It doesn't matter. This is how ridiculous these people are. They'll never be happy about anything, which tells you one of two things. Either A, they're listening to the idiots, or B, they are bots. That's all it comes down to. And that's how you got to look at it. Are we getting commercials on my live? I'm sorry about that. Let me I don't want that happening in the midstream. Let me see if I can fix that real quick, because I thought I fixed it, and if it's still happening, I'm just going to have to do the same thing I did last night, and maybe I'm going to have to do it every night. It's the only way to make YouTube stop gunking up my stream. All right, hopefully this fixes it. I don't want any ads going on while I'm on my show. All right. Thanks for the heads up on that, Moody. Yeah, D6 says they're never afraid to speak up and show their ignorance. They're not, because they think they're smart. That's the thing. Well, first of all, complainers are always going to complain. All right. That's been since the beginning of time. Remember, you could go back to the Bible, the Israelites just freed from Egypt. God unleashes 10 plagues upon Egypt, does the most amazing stuff, kills off Egypt's army as they're chasing Israel through the Red Sea. It collapses on them, wipes out Pharaoh and the army. The Israelites are free and their enemies are destroyed. And within a few days, the Israelites are grumbling and complaining. There are always black pillars. There are always complainers. There are always the people where nothing is good enough. And that's why we don't listen to them. We just don't. There's nothing to add. If you're a grumbler, complainer, you got to ask yourself why. And you got to ask yourself, what value am I actually adding? Because people who complain are not solution oriented. They're not opportunity oriented. They just want to complain. I get it. Sometimes people have bad days, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the people who always do it. And the black pillars. And as I'm going to show you later, Bongino had a special word for them too. But a lot of those people, who they're listening to? They're listening to like people like Fuentes here. Except for even Fuentes, if this doesn't tell you that the guy's a total grifter, I don't know what does. But even this in 2019, the first Trump administration, I think an intervention in Venezuela is well within our interest. The Western Hemisphere belongs to America. And except now he's calling out Trump for doing regime change. This isn't America first. Really, Nick? Look at this little
intervention in Venezuela is well within our interest, and it's as simple as the Monroe Doctrine.
I can't listen to him. I'm sorry. But you guys can find the clip if you want to listen to it later. This is who they listen to. This, Candace Owens, a bunch more on X. I mean, the left, the libertards, Dave Smiths. I mean, all of them. They're just out there. They got to grift. They got to complain. They gotta find their lane. And all it comes down to ultimately is, let's not have solutions. Let's tear down the people actually doing stuff. When they're not going into Venezuela, we're going to tell them they should be going into Venezuela. When they do go into Venezuela, we're going to tell them we are against regime change. This isn't America first. That's how the game's played, folks. The problem is, for them now, all these people, whether it be the globalists, the influencers, the psyopers, whoever it is, the problem is that Trump's the first guy who came along with his team. I want to give major props to the team. It's not When I say Trump, I mean Trump, Vance, Rubio, Kennedy, you name it, Gabbard. I mean them all. Trump's the first one who came around and said, you think I'm bluffing? Screw you guys. I'm not bluffing. This is happening. We're going to actually do these things. And they don't know what to do with it because they constantly get proven wrong. Just like Iran this summer. Oh, it's going to be a war. We're going to get boots on the ground. We're going to get in. Nope. Clean, in and out, done. Ended a war between Israel and Iran at the same time. Hey, it might pick back up. I don't know. We're watching the Iran situation very carefully. There's obviously a lot going on there. But Trump's showing he doesn't want war, but he does want justice. And he does want to look out for America's interests, even in foreign policy. And that's the kind of president, my friends, that's what I voted for. I'm not a pacifist. I don't like intervention when it doesn't benefit us. I don't like boots on the ground and wasting trillions of dollars not even trying to win wars. I don't like the idea of us completely rebuilding a nation when it makes no sense for us long term. I'm not a fan of any of those things. I'm not a fan at sacrificing our middle class for people who will never be grateful or for situations that'll never benefit us. I'm not in on that ever again. I was duped. I was a young, dumb kid. 9/11 got me fired up. I was all for that stuff when it was going on. I was for Afghanistan. I was for Iraq. I learned the error of my ways. I learned about the globalists. I learned about the uniparty. I understand how it all works now. I didn't back then. I was a dumb kid. And most Americans were much dumber back then too. We didn't have the exposure we've had. We hadn't been awakened yet. We hadn't had opportunities to be. Most people hadn't anyways. You had to work a lot harder. Thank God for the internet. But now you really don't have an excuse not to be awake anymore. There's too much out there. It's too obvious. It's too easy now. Too easy to figure it all out. And now we have no reason to blackpill. It's the only thing people can bring up to blackpill now is it's not happening fast enough or it hasn't happened enough. Well, it's like, dude, after all these years, these decades, we're going in the right direction and you're blackpilling? I'm sorry. What are we doing? But again, for these people, the Fuenteses of the world, they're scrambling because Trump continues to make progress they never thought possible. And so they have to keep creating new narratives. They have to keep trying to find new angles of attack. And it's wearing thin. The Candace Owens stuff really worn thin. I can't even believe people are watching her anymore. I don't have to cover her anymore. Thank God. Because her relevancy is basically dead. The latest thing she did is Erica Kirk might be a robot. What are we even doing anymore? This is what they're scrambling with. The smart ones are staying quiet and still trying to toe the line and save their attacks for when they feel like they can move the needle, but it's not happening. We're waking way up to it now. Oh, Moody, I'm going to bring that up. Don't worry about that. Speaker Man says U.S. could see some minor deflation. Exactly what I said last night, my friend. You're 100% right about that. I do see that. Locked Fellow, Tammy Bruce was seated behind Waltz. What? Tammy Bruce was there? I didn't see that. Well, Tammy is an interesting character despite her conservative reputation. So moving forward, let's get back to Venezuela. We got Maduro. He has pleaded not guilty today, which means he's going to trial. And as I said, I don't know if I said that last night or if I was talking to somebody about this today. They were wondering if he was going to go to trial. And I said, I think he will because they want his testimony out in the open. And that's what's coming because the not guilty plea is in, which means the trial will be on. So Maduro's coming in. Now, Steve Miller had to give Tapper the treatment. And so, Stephen Miller, one of my favorites, fiery man. Let's watch a Stephen Miller just absolutely blows up Jake Tapper about Maduro?
First of all Venezuela experts agree, that it would be absurd and preposterous for us to suddenly fly her into the country and to put her in charge. And the military would follow her, and the security forces would follow her. This is not a serious. It's not even a serious question.
So should there be an
Look,
election?
Let me. If you give me the floor for 30 seconds, let me tell you what we are doing here, Jake. The United States. This is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries should be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparation
about right
schemes.
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea. And by the way, I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked you about if there should be an election.
Exactly.
I asked you if there would be an election in Venezuela. That's what I asked. I said, why was the president so quick to dismiss Machado? You answered that question. And then I said,
the objective, Jake, is security and stability for the people of Venezuela. With our help and leadership, that country will become more prosperous than it has ever been in its whole history. Venezuelans
but the
will
woman
be richer
running Venezuela
and
right
safer
now is
and
part
more
of the Maduro
secure and
regime.
better off. There will be conversations, Jake, about all of these guideposts along the way. The reason why I was giving you that speech, which I know you didn't want to hear, is because you're approaching this from the wrong frame. This neoliberal frame that the United States' job is to go around the world and demanding immediate elections be held everywhere, immediately, all the time, right away. To create these vacuums.
That's not what I think, but you invaded the country. Went into the country and we seized the leader of Venezuela.
Damn straight we did.
And I'm saying,
we're not going to let,
so is the U.S. going to have new elections?
Jake, is that we're not going to let Tin Pot communist dictators send rapists into our country, send drugs into our country, send weapons into our country.
Okay.
And we're not going to let a country fall into the hands of our adversaries. The future of Venezuela, working with America, is going to be so bright and so incredible and so positive, and we'll have a conversation about everything that you raised. But the priority right now, as the president has been made clear, is a judicious, thoughtful, careful transition process to secure a great future for Venezuela and to secure a great future for America.
All right.
And let's just take a moment and just acknowledge, Jake, that what we've witnessed under President Trump's leadership this last week is one of the greatest foreign policy and military victories this country has ever had.
Boom. Do you hear what he said there, which was really interesting at the end? He said this was one of the greatest military victories the U.S. has ever had. Those are big words coming from Stephen Miller. But it tells you that there is so much more going on behind there. And Stephen Miller, what he had to say in that entire clip, if you take it, there's a lot. He used a lot of words, don't get me wrong, but Miller is a talker. But his point was, and it came across pretty strong, I think, by the end, is that there is a lot more going on here. And we're not doing things the same way we always done. And we're not listening to you, Jake Tapper. We're not listening to the elites on this, which are the globalist indoctrinated types, the globalist controlled puppets. We're not listening to you guys. We're not playing by your rules. And I love when he said with Maduro come here, he said, damn straight we did. I love it. I love it. And listen, Moody says he didn't answer a question. Jake lost control of the interview. Exactly, Moody, because he wasn't. The point is Jake was trying to lead him into something where they're always getting the gotchas, and that's what Miller and all these types. Trump does it all the time too. You don't directly answer their questions all the time if it's not where you want to go to. You speak your message because you don't show respect to these people. You make them look like the idiots they are. You make them look like the puppets they are. You don't treat them as equals because they won't treat you as equals. And that's why we want to, the Stephen Miller's out there communicating this. JD Vance is actually the best at it, but Miller is a firebrand. I love how he comes in there and just communicates the fire, the passion. And when you listen to Miller, when you listen to Trump, again, JD's he's the best communicator out of all of them. And then Rubio is pretty darn good too. But with Miller and Trump, what you get is the fire of what they're trying to put across. And then what they do is they drop you little nuggets where you have to listen carefully. And with Miller, the nugget was at the end there. This will go down as one of the greatest military victories in American history. Why? Well, for all the stuff we went through last night. We just killed off 3 of our great enemies, hubs of influence in the Western Hemisphere, 4 if you count the globalists, the City of London banker types, which, by the way, that's all that influence on the bad stuff out of Israel too. Okay, so that's all going away. It's all going away. It affects Iran, Russia, China. It's massive, massive in every single way. And the Maduro stuff, when it goes to trial, I mean, more and more is going to come out of this. Moody, you're going to like this part, being Canadian. I don't know if you guys watch Promethean Action. You should be. These ladies are brilliant. They've been doing this for 50 plus years. They have more insights into what we're trying to do with the economy than anyone I've ever heard. They understand the economic war better than anybody else. It's fantastic. And today's video, they do, while everyone watched Venezuela, Trump quietly put Canada in the crosshairs. So there you go, Moody and all my Canadian friends. This is a big shot across the bow to Canada too, because it's not regime change, as they say. It's a strike on the City of London's offshore banking empire that's been laundering cartel money for 50 years. What did I share with you guys the other night? The video of Maduro saying that the cartel's money is laundered through Wall Street. It's laundered through our financial system. Up to $50 billion a year. No, I'm sorry. Was it 50? 500 billion. 50 was the 10% I was talking about. $500 billion. That's a lot of cash. $500 billion laundering, cartel money. All that's drying up now. And that means all the players in our markets are the beneficiaries of this money. Whether it's Canada, the UK, the EU, you name it. Everybody is a part of our markets that's involved with the cartels, it's laundering money with the cartels. It's going to lose a bunch of cash with Venezuela. And Trump's going for everyone else too. He's put Colombia on notice. He's put Mexico on notice. He's put Cuba on notice. That's a lot of drugs and a lot of dictatorship he's going after, all in the Western Hemisphere. Trump's putting the whole West on notice. The U.S. is the boss now. He's telling EU, he's telling China, stay out. We're done. You guys can have your area. We're not looking to take anything from you guys, but we are establishing our dominance over here. Get off my lawn. That's basically what we're saying to everybody. And with this, if Canada's really in the crosshairs, remember, out of all the Five Eyes, okay, the nations, the Commonwealth nations from the UK that are most closely associated to the UK, the old British Empire, which is still the financial system. They're still carrying a lot of connection to the Queen, the crown. We have New Zealand, Australia, UK, Canada. And then you have America as the other part of the Five Eyes. What does that tell you? Because the other 4 are all Commonwealth. And then you got India, which, listen, they might have kicked the Brits out of India, but they didn't kick the Brits out of India, if you know what I mean. There's still a very tight relationship there. Why do you think they're trying to flood our nations with Indians? There's a reason for it, much more than just they want to come over here and get jobs. No, there's a reason why that country specifically was granted all these easy ways to flood our jobs. There's a reason why they run Google and all these other major companies. It's Indians as the CEOs in many of our big tech companies. There's a reason for that. It's a takeover. They were trying to do it. India directly connected with UK. Canada, out of all these nations, is the only one in our hemisphere. So what's that mean? It means Canada's getting dealt with. So there you go. Moody, Canadians, it's coming, baby. It's coming. I don't know when. I don't know what it'll look like. And I don't know how far we'll push. But they're definitely going to try. They're definitely going to try because we can't have it over here. Even MI6, what's that? British intelligence admits this is something new. There you go. Things are advancing quickly. That strike on Venezuela was a major tell that we're accelerating. It's time to hit the go button. How much is going to happen from here on out? I don't know. What's the timeline? I don't know. What's the order? I don't know. Nobody does except for those in between in the administration. And even they might not know. They probably have contingency upon contingency. That's how you got to do it anyways, to do it smart. Because if you lock your head down and say, we're doing this no matter what, that's where mistakes are made. No, it's punch, counter punch. They just did this on Venezuela. Wait and see what the response is. Make your next move. That's how we're going to keep seeing it. On Maduro, Speakerman says, once the evidence is admitted, it can't be taken back. Absolutely. It's going to keep moving stuff forward. Absolutely. Many at the midterms will need therapy on the left. I mean, they're all in therapy anyways. Look what it's doing for them. Moody says there was an op in a Toronto Star where they said that Maduro being arrested made the Liberals nervous. Oh, man. I love it. Sometimes they just flat out tell you, right? Brett, buy that Canada ginger ale. It's good stuff, man. I will say it is good. Please hit that like and subscribe. Thank you, Brett, for reminding everybody. Love it. Sandals, Cuba. Yeah, if Cuba gets fixed up, that'd be a great vacation spot. Be great. Yeah, I mean, listen, Cuba used to be awesome. Have you guys seen Godfather 2? Yeah, Cuba was the spot before the commies took over. Cuba was great. If we take back over Cuba, oh, shoot, I'll go down there. I'll take my family on a little beach vacation to Cuba. The food is bomb, man. There's a Cuban restaurant here. It's a Havana restaurant. It is like one of my favorite. Brett says, which Indians are we talking about? The ones I go gambling at or the ones I call tech support for? I'll leave you to figure that one out, Brett. Vince says, did I hear about the pizza theory in D.C.? Yeah, every time in D.C. when the Pentagon is planning something, all the pizza joints get lit up. And there's a long track record of this. Even with Venezuela, the pizza places were going nuts after Venezuela attack. So, yeah, I mean, listen. Some of that stuff's legit, and sometimes it's noise. There's been plenty of times where the pizza place is lit up, and everybody's like, they're planning some, and then nothing happened. It doesn't mean they weren't planning something. It just meant they didn't pull the trigger. So, yeah, it is worth looking at. I mean, DC tells us lots of stuff. So, Krypton says, not a victory yet. We need a successful transition we've not proven well to do in history. Hopefully we can prove that quickly. You know, Krypton, I don't, you're right, but I also don't care. And let me tell you why I don't care. Because history, how many times has the Trump administration made history? Everything we see time after time, week after week, month after month, year after year with Trump is that things aren't being played. The game's not played the same way anymore. The rules are different. We are doing stuff before. What we're learning every time we pull off one of these strikes, Iran, Venezuela, and just the last year, every time we pull off one of these operations, we learn that we were suckers and they played us for suckers about our military. How much, this is the real question. How many of those mistakes or times we screwed up were purposeful? How many times were the quagmires on purpose? How much of that money that we lost by staying 18 years in Afghanistan, Iraq, how much of that money was simply, how much of that was the wars being prolonged so that money could be laundered? That is the real question. Because what Trump is showing us is that our military is so good, and we are actually so good at doing this stuff, we can wake up in the morning and see that a major operation has just been finished and it's over and done with. Just like that. Within 90 minutes, 2 hours. They keep showing us this. Is it possible? And this is my question. My question is not, are we going to screw this up like in the past? I think that's an idiotic question. And I'm not saying you're an idiot. I just think the question, because I know you're not the only one asking it. A lot of people are thinking this. But I think it's a stupid question. And this is why. Because this is not the same team. This isn't the same America. We are actually being run by capable people now. By capable people who aren't screwing us. They are actually just trying to get the job done. And look what happens when Americans just get the job done. So the real question to me isn't, will we screw up like in the past? We haven't been good in the past. The real question to me is, why weren't we good at it in the past? Because we sure as hell seem like we're good at it now. That's the real question. I have actually no fears about this being a quagmire. I have no fears about it at all. The Trump team has been so efficient, so proficient at everything they're doing militarily that I literally, every time one of these things happen, my instincts no longer say, uh-oh, this looks bad like the past. No, my instincts now say, how much are we actually getting done behind the scenes? Because this team is so good at everything they do once it's in front of us. So I personally get more excited. I personally believe more so that we're doing well because of these actions. I don't get icky feelings. The problem is that way too many people out there keep acting, and I do believe it's psyops, because let me put it this way. I do this show at night. I've been following all this stuff 25-ish years. I'm a history buff, political junkie, whatever, all this stuff. Read hundreds of books, history. I love it. I love it. But I do this on my spare time. I work a full-time job. I have 6 kids. I'm a family man first. This is what I do in my spare time, and I can see it. So those that have all day, that do this for a living, that do this for their lives, can figure out all this stuff, do all the research, have teams looking it up for them. They have no excuse. So when they come out and they throw these BS narratives that, oh, this is Iraq all over again, I know immediately they're lying. I know immediately they're throwing it in there just to screw with everybody, just to make everybody scared. Because we didn't vote for Trump for Iraq again. We didn't vote for that. We didn't vote for sell out the middle class anymore. We voted for a new America. And he's actually giving it to us. But the problem is that they don't like it. And all these people, deep state puppets, people just touting their own show, trying to grow on their own, whatever they are, whatever their reason is for being BSers. So I don't even ask that question. I see that Trump is doing exactly what he told us to do, or said he'd do. We're not going across the world. You recognize that? That's a big difference right there. Nobody talks about that part. This is all, there's a plan here. And the plan is being formed quickly. Bring peace to all the world, ending all these wars, ending Israel, Iran, ending the wars in Africa, trying to end Russia, Ukraine, all that. And then you get all that settled, and then you put your foot down and say, now we clean up our side of the field. That's very powerful and very different than what the Bush administration did, so on and so forth, than what we did in Vietnam. It's just not the same. Vince says, when I was converted to Trump, that's funny. It's when he said on stage during a debate, why didn't we take the oil? We liberated a country and didn't get the oil. I mean, right? That's the kind of stuff that just makes Trump so differently. Linda Telly says, Jamaica's a country that has a president that makes his people suffer. He took the money from countries after hurricane, didn't give anything to help his people. Yeah, Linda, listen, there are terrible things all over the world. Terrible people doing terrible things to their people. We're not going to clean up every single one of them. But what we will do is clean up every single one that is directly impacting us. Like Venezuela is one of the biggest ones. And then after that happens, then what we'll do is it'll create an environment, because as things get better and better in these worse countries, as America gets stronger and stronger, that will give the people around the world hope. It'll show them what's possible, and things will progress, and eventually people will rise up and throw those leaders down, and we won't have to act as much militarily. So it will continually get better. It will. And hopefully the people of Jamaica will eventually learn to. When Saskatchewan and Alberta separate, should we call it the Republic of Saskberta, Republic of Flat? I think you should just come up with a whole new name altogether. Is my stream having issues? Sorry, guys. I don't know. I have a great connection right now. So just refresh. If you notice the stream cutting out at all, just refresh. All right. Okay, let's keep moving as we got more to go through. I'm not going to play this 15-minute clip from Glenn Beck. I wish, I recommend it if you guys got the time. But this is the point I want to share right here. That Glenn does an excellent 15 minutes breaking down. This is the first time since FDR, which is World War II, the world's resources are back under the American umbrella. Man, that's a powerful statement. Think about that. Think about all the fears that were going on with the tariffs and the trade deals. Well, we don't have the resources. We have to have our free trade. We're going to not get chips, and they're going to be mean to us, the Chinese. We just can't make them mad, guys. That's the kind of nonsense. And yet what we've been slowly doing, Trump has been slowly, and it doesn't feel slow, but it is slow. Because if he went any faster, he would just break everything. So it's relatively slow. Tariffs, boom. Remember what Trump called it last year? Liberation Day? Why was it Liberation Day? Because it gave us back our sovereignty. All of a sudden, the tariffs were the beginning of our liberation from needing the rest of the world. We are now America again, and the mission's not finished. We got work to do, and the Trump administration is going to keep doing that work. But think about all we've accomplished in less than a year. Guys, we still got 2 weeks until it's been 1 year of the Trump administration. We're not even we haven't even started year 2 yet. Think of all that's happened. Sovereignty is back. We have these trade deals, this action in Venezuela, all this stuff. What's it doing? It's creating for us an opportunity where we no longer need all these other countries. We don't need their goods. We don't need their minerals. We don't need it as much. Slowly but surely, we are securing for ourselves all that we need, all within our vicinity, which is much easier to control. If Venezuela wants to mess with us, they're not that far away. It's not like trying to screw with China, and they're much larger country that's much further away. No, these people are on, they're our neighbors. Why is Trump making so much about Greenland? So much a big deal about Greenland? Same reason. They want to keep it going. Stephen Miller on Greenland. Who exactly would oppose the U.S. if it came to military conflict? You guys notice how the Venezuela stuff, whether they're actually going to do any more military actions anytime soon or not, what it did is it scared the hell out of the rest of the world. And now the Trump administration's not saying, sorry guys, hands off. We just had to do this one. We're going to play nice now. This is just one we had to do. We're not playing the whole make the globalists happy game after we do something unilaterally. We're not trying to make it right with everybody. No, instead, we're freaking doubling down and we're saying, dude, did you see what we just did? You think that's something? What if we did it to Greenland? Are you going to stop us? Hey, who's going to stop us? Hey, Belgium, you think you can stop it? Denmark, you think you got anything on us? What about you, EU? Can you guys even together do anything? Nah, we're not scared of you guys. So here's the deal. We're going to come to the table and negotiate this because you guys know you can't stop us because we could just take it if we wanted to. So we're going to play nice and we're going to actually try to make a deal of this. This is what Trump's doing. This is the big ass. This is the art of the deal. Come in, guns blazing, big ask, freak them out, blow their mind circuits. And then once you settle down after that, you end up getting what you want. And you get it for a price that was right around what you probably expected for in the first place. That is acceptable to you. But you start by going so far that you scare them and you put them on their back feet, put them on their heels. This is what Trump's doing right now. We're using the Venezuela stuff to advance this agenda. And I got to tell you, a year ago, we were talking about Greenland like crazy. It quieted down. It's back. What does that tell you? It tells you the Trump administration, they plan on getting Greenland. This is not a game. This is not hyperbole. Greenland is in their sights. And I have a feeling that before Trump leaves in 2029, January 20th, 2029, when he hands the torch to J.D. Vance, which is going to happen, watch it. When he hands it over, I have a feeling Greenland will be part of the U.S. at that point as a territory. Because the way they won't let it go, when we went months without talking about it, I had a feeling that maybe they moved on. Maybe it was like, well, we're figuring out something else. Or, we tried just to see what would happen. No, the fact that it's coming back full circle, that tells me their eyes are on it. And I have a feeling it's going to happen. Because like Stephen Miller's saying, who could oppose us? Who could oppose us? Taiwan can be 52. Yeah, good luck with that. Can Greenlanders vote to leave Denmark and join the U.S.? I imagine they could. The question is whether Denmark would honor that. But that would certainly give the U.S. a push. I don't think they'd be a state. It's 58,000 people who live there. That's not big enough to be a state. If we get Greenland, it'll be a territory, like a Guam or a Puerto Rico. We'll have full jurisdiction over it. We'll be able to use it for its resources. We'll control its security. We'll be able to put military bases on it. We'll use it. And it'll be there's no reason to make it a state. There's not enough people there. There's way more people in Puerto Rico and Guam. We haven't made them states. So it's just not, it's not going to be a state. We don't want more states. Do you understand? Like, this is one of the, even though Trump teases Canada, the 51 state thing, Trump's smart enough to know that Canada itself would be a terrible state for us. It would tip the balance of the Senate to the Democrats because Canada's liberal. It would just, the Electoral College as well. It would get a bunch of electoral votes. It'd be like the third or fourth biggest state on population. It would be horrible for MAGA. It would be horrible for Republicans if Canada was a state. But if Alberta's a state, again, the big ask, this is what Trump does. This is the art of the deal. the big ask. If he asks for Canada or toys with Canada, but we end up getting Alberta, which is red through and through, huge win. But as far as all these other places, we're not looking to expand our states. It's the Democrats who want to do that. The Democrats are the one who want to make Puerto Rico a state and Washington, D.C. a state, which would give them 4 more senators and, 3 or 4 more electoral votes. That's what the Democrats want. We're good with 50 unless we can get something like Alberta. Nothing else makes sense. I mean, the Greenlanders, they might vote to join the U.S., but Greenlanders, they got ties to Europe. They're probably mostly lefties. We don't want to risk with that. And our smallest state population-wise is 500,000 people. That's Wyoming. So 500,000 people is our smallest state. Greenland is 1/10 of our smallest state, population-wise. No, it's not going to be a state. So it would all be a territory. If Arctic north of Canada, that's a good question. If we get Greenland, does that just take it in? And maybe carburetor factory. The Russians have their subs up there all the time. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know if the Arctic is just like Antarctica where there's a treaty. I don't know enough on that. The big cities aren't conservative, very liberal because of immigration. Absolutely. Well, and just because you guys are more European up there too. The Venezuelans do love us. I think they're like 75%. The problem with Venezuela is it doesn't make sense to be a state because it's landlocked. It's landlocked on a different continent. South America is a different continent. It's like you can't make it a state. We'd have no ability to really control that or protect it. It's surrounded by other countries, like land-wise. That just doesn't make sense for Venezuela to be a state. But if it can be like a proxy, like an ally that's so close, they're basically a proxy to us, where we just can free trade our resources with them like crazy. I mean, then we don't need to deal with the problems of them being a state because we don't have to like defend them, but we get all the benefits. That's much more likely what's going to happen. What's up, Nick Majors? All right, let's keep moving. By the way, guys, if you like the show, if you're learning anything, if you're getting hyped, if you feel that black pilling just oozing off you because black pilling is stupid, if you feel all that leaving your system, because that's what this show's all about, showing you guys what's going on, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. And if you're on X, hey, give a repost for a brother. Why not? Can you do that for me? All right. Trump dropped this on Truth Social today. Election stuff with Maduro in captivity, with Maduro pleading not guilty, so he's going to go to trial and testify. We all know Smartmatic's in Venezuela, and Trump is touting the election stuff. Let's see what he dropped on Truth.
This is how they stole it. This is how they stole it. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. This is how they stole it. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. This is how they stole it. La-la-la-la-la-la. This is how they stole it. This is how they stole it every time. And they're gonna try. From MAGA won't let it happen. So I reach for my MAGA hat and I turn it up. Me and my friends are gonna vote Donald Trump. On the car wheels slated. Now MAGA's in the street saying, Donnie, yo, we made it. Feels so good, as it should, tonight. All the MAGA red shirts and the flags waving high. Even the liberals are voting for the red side. Gotta bring your crew out, cause we need a red wave. So put your hands up, cause we ain't giving up. And let me hear MAGA say, we ain't gonna lose this time. This is how they stole it. Cause we know everything they're gonna try. This is how they stole it. Let's take our country back tonight. This is how they stole it. We'll never give it back without a fight. This is how they stole it. We ain't gonna lose this time. This is how they stole it. Cause we know everything they're gonna try. This is how they stole it. Let's take our country back tonight. This is how they stole it. We'll never give it back without a fight. This is how they stole it.
Great stuff right there. So clever. didn't rhyme the whole time. That'd be my only thought. They just didn't. They didn't rhyme it very well in a couple parts. But overall, great. Good stuff. But Trump posting that. We're going to win this time. Obviously, that was made for 2024 election, which we won. When so many people were like, they're going to steal it again. They're going to steal it again. The Black Pillars, they get it wrong a lot, don't they? Yeah, they're going to be wrong again and again and again and again and again, all the time. Midterms, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the midterms, but I can tell you, I'm not believing we're going to lose just because the Black Pillars say it. We might lose because the Republicans in the Senate are morons and they hate Trump and they're trying to undercut his presidency from within because we still got a bunch of neocons and unipartyists in that Senate, in the House, that don't care about getting Trump's agenda passed, that think they can wait him out. But listen, they really were feeling themselves when his approval went down a little bit, when the psyops were coming out after the shutdown and after the losses with Mamdani and Virginia, all that. They were feeling themselves. So what they do, they put the brakes on the stuff. They thought Epstein was going to boost them. But guess what? Trump's approval today back up the highest it's been in months. Yeah, it's coming back around, folks. The people are waking up. The people actually are liking what Trump's doing. The people are starting to see lower gas prices, lower food prices, like I told you when I went to Aldi this weekend, man. 60% of my items, 5 to 10% cheaper. Wild. Loved seeing it. It's happening. We haven't even gotten the tax refunds yet. Wait till that happens. Wait till Trump maybe gets a tariff stimulus check out there, which, by the way, is not printing money. That money's already come into the Treasury. $600 billion is what Trump put out the other day. It's a lot of moolah. This economy, now the Venezuela stuff, this economy should be roaring come the midterms. You know how hard it is to lose an election when the economy's roaring? Yeah, the Republicans might screw it up, but it won't be because of Trump. And it's definitely not because the Black Pillars say it's going to happen. And that's not why they say it's going to happen. They're actually blackpilling because of Trump, which is the dumbest thing. Listen, if you voted in 2024 and you voted for President Trump and you are blackpilling right now, something is seriously wrong with you. You literally either don't pay attention to politics and don't understand how this stuff works. You have no historical knowledge of how much actually got accomplished in that first year, or you're sucking too much on the teat of the Fuentes types influencers, and you got to wake up, because those people are cray cray. Rum Talk says, like a deceased Dem I already liked twice. Well, like a third time if you don't mind. Hit that like. This is the only way my show gets out there, is if you guys like and share and subscribe. That's it. That's it. No matter where you're at, where you're Rumble, X, YouTube. The algos hate me. Why do they hate me? Because I tell the truth. That's all there is to it. And I'm not here. I backed it up. Those people, there's a reason why I have a small but loyal viewership, because for the last 3 years, I've done my best to tell the truth and been proven right many times as a result. And algorithms don't like that. They like salacious lies. They like salacious misinformation. And unfortunately, I'm not playing that game. But if you guys help me out, I can grow slow and steady and still win the race. And that's what it's about. Just getting the people the real information. All right. Let's keep moving. Got a couple other things going to go through tonight. I had to share this, though, because this made me laugh. Praying Medic shared tonight. Libertarian ideology is like living in a home with heat but no air conditioning. They're correct about the right to personal liberty, but deny the reality that sovereign nations must at times defend themselves with the use of force. Absolutely. And that's why libertards like Thomas Massey are truly, truly stupid or puppets. And I got to be honest with you, Massey he's got to be a deep state puppet at this point. It's just the stuff, the way he's coming out against this Venezuela strike. I just one of my great wins in history that I'm very proud of is on this show converting, and this includes myself because I used to buy the Massey hype as well. But I had an awakening, and my viewers, the loyal viewers, have been here for all these years now. They've mostly had the awakening as well. I don't think we have many Massey lovers left in this audience, and that's because we did the work, didn't we? We saw what was really going on. We broke it down. We saw how every freaking time Trump did anything, Massey finds a way to hate it, how Massey keeps trying to take down Trump, how Massey sided with McCarthy, actually helped Biden's budget with no debt ceiling on it get passed, how Massey's a total fraud. And because of that, we're all better, and I think it's spreading. Just like the Candace Owens stuff is spreading, just like after I said, Candace, back when the first time she went after Charlie, I said, something's not right here. And then 4 months later, Alex Jones was on it. Oh, Candace Owens, there's something really wrong with her people here. This is not adding up. It's Candace Owens leading a side op. Candace is all over the place. Well, dude, Alex, love you. Glad you woke up finally. But if I'm not mistaken, just a couple months ago, dude, you were having Nick Fuentes on every other night. That's kind of part of the problem as well. But you know what? Better late than never. Come join the party. Come join the party. We'll be the slow but steady truthers here that just keep getting it right, and nobody pays attention to us, but we get validated as time rolls on. And you know what? It's like our own little club, right, guys? The Ace Holes. The Ace Hole Club. Always right. Nobody knows it. That's us. Talking about right. Look at this. Today. Oh, yeah. No love for Trader Green either. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene. We were one of the first on that too. I will say I wasn't the first on Marjorie. I towed the line too long on her. I wanted to believe so bad that she was good that I waited too long. But I was one of the first, but I wasn't the first with MTG. Kennedy got the vaccine schedule down from 72 jabs to 11. How about that for the beautiful babies of America? Now the people who trust institutions, who refuse to think for themselves, who refuse to do the research, even for their own kids, even they at least will be giving their kids less poison in their bodies. That's a beautiful thing. It's a huge freaking win. Trump and Kennedy pulled it off. We are now down from this on the right to now the Europeans, which, you know what? I'm just going to say huge win. Huge win for the health of America. Huge win for fighting off autism. We are in the right trace. Maha, talk about psyops. They've been trying to kill Maha from the beginning. Remember last March, Ian Carroll, that bozo Fed, came out with that false story about Kennedy being taken down by a sex scandal, and then nothing happened. Like a lot of stuff Ian Carroll says, it doesn't happen because the guy's a total fraud psyoper, and I'm disgusted that Tucker Carlson had him on. God dang, I tell you what, man. All you got to do is lie and spout globalist BS nonsense, make up scandals that don't happen, and you can go on Tucker Carlson. You can go on Joe Rogan because that's all Ian Carroll did. He jumped on the GameStop crap, rode that for a little while, built a little bitty TikTok reputation, and then he started talking politics, and the guy freaking blows up. You can't find out anything about him. It doesn't matter though, because now he's on Tucker Carlson when he's saying the same nonsense Candace Owens was saying that everybody's waking up to. You just can't make this stuff up. It doesn't even make sense unless they're... Anyways, that was the psyop that started against Maha. Constant talk about Kennedy being on the outs. Constant talk about everybody trying to thwart the Maha agenda, make America healthy again, get rid of what they're proposing. And yet we keep getting huge wins. Unbelievable. What does it tell you guys? The black pillars are always wrong. When it comes to Trump, when it comes to this administration, you should never, and this is because trust built. This isn't because I'm telling you something. I'm showing you, and by now you should be able to see it after all this time, after 9 years of Trump. Listen, when the Trump administration says something, when Trump himself says something, that is 100,000 times more trustworthy than anything in the media or influencers. Anything. And now we're at the point where the majority of the influencers, not all of them, but the majority of them are just as bad as the media. The podcast circuit has become just as bad. The YouTubers, the Xers, whatever you call them, they're just as bad as the media now. That's what we're learning, because nonstop since Trump became president the second time, it has been psyops, and mostly from the right now, or at least right adjacent, people who claim to be conservatives or America first, or, you know, that's where they're attacking us from, because the media, the left media, is so destroyed, nobody listens to them anymore. So where do they attack from now? Deploy all assets on the right. And that's why we keep hearing this nonsense, this crap from people like Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, Thomas Massey, you name it. I mean, it's all these influential people on the quote unquote right. It's crap after crap after crap, and they're always wrong. Huge win for Maha today. David with the huge super chat of $10. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate that. He says, I did 0 jabs for my baby girl. She's a vibrant 1-year-old girl, has not once gotten sick in her whole life. I'm not giving advice, by the way. You know what, man? That's okay. Don't give advice. Just tell us how you did it. I have 6 kids. 3 of them never jabbed anything at all. The other 3 barely. We just didn't know. We were learning with our first 3, but they never got the full schedule, not even close. And my 3 that have never gotten anything are healthier than my 3 that did, even though they're all healthy. Although my first son has autism. So there you go. But that's huge win. Huge win. Harris noted Venezuela's another country. Well, that's good. Drunken wisdom. You guys crack me up. All right. If you like what you're seeing, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you so much. Moving on. All right. I teased this at the beginning. Bongino's back, baby. And there's a reason I saved him towards the end here. A reason I saved him towards the end, because Dan's going to help me tie it all up tonight. Dan Bongino, what did I tell you guys with Bongino when he stepped down? Because I had a lot of people, by the way, psyops with Bongino too. People said he was going to step down last May. Didn't happen. He served a full year almost. But when Bongino announced in December, he was on his last couple weeks, coming out in January, I said, I don't think this is a bad thing. And I don't think he's leaving because he can't handle it anymore. I think what's happening is they are letting the insider who spent a year with Trump, an insider out into the wild, to go tell us all what's actually happening, to give us a clear voice who actually did the work, who actually is behind the scenes. That's what I said I think is going to happen. That's what I said. I think Bongino's got a mission. I think his mission is now to go back into podcasting and set the record straight, because he's got the insider track, and it's going to be powerful when Bongino comes back. And then he posted this today. Good to see you all. I missed you. Thanks for everything while we worked on cleaning up. Working in the administration was the experience of a lifetime. I'll have some announcements coming up. I'm taking a couple days to spend with family. I guarantee you one of those announcements is the podcast is coming back. Couple of things. Thank you for your interest in the show and its return date. We'll have something for you soon. And this is where it gets important. The Trump team is not kidding around. It's an otherworldly experience from the other side. He's determined and focused, and having been around quite a few presidents, this one broke the mold. What is that, if not the insider setting the record straight? He's already starting. If we blocked you, it's because we care so little about your bullshit, we deem it not worthy of even seeing. If you're bitching and whining about it, that means you can't exist without seeing and commenting on ours. You'll need to get over that. We do it because there's nothing black pillars and anti-Trumpers want more than to create division and drama. We're about results. We'll talk about more of it soon. Flaming Elmo emoji. Bah. But there it is right there, guys. Because there's nothing black pillars and anti-Trumpers want more than to create division and drama. It's coming out. Bongino, he knows where the bodies are buried. He's going to come out. I'm telling you, he's going to be setting the record straight. And then he came out with one more. Let me add this from the jump so there's no confusion. I started in this movement as a candidate during the Tea Party movement. I began my political commentary career shortly thereafter. I helped build this movement. I sure as hell am not going to let it get hijacked by a group of black pillars, life losers, grifters, and bums. Boom! Bongino, baby. And listen, whatever you thought of Bongino before, whether you liked him as a podcaster or not, that's besides the point. The fact he served for a year and he's coming out of his podcast retirement soon, but behind the scenes for a year, and the first thing he does when he comes back is go after the black pillars, life losers, grifters, and bums. I'm telling you right now, Bongino's mission, this is a mission. It's to come out and it's to create the counter narrative that no one can argue with because he was there. He's going to have the counter narrative to all the nonsense. And so you're going to have somebody like Bongino. You know, you got people like me who read the tea leaves and trust Trump and pay really close attention, look between the lines and tell you what's going on. And we're right more often than not because we trust the right people. But now we're adding an actual insider to the mix to break the narrative. And one of the insiders who had one of the biggest audiences in all of MAGA. This, my friends, is powerful. This is a great plan. This is obviously part of an operation, and an operation for the good guys. I think Dan, for whatever reason he left, maybe he left because it was too much time away from family. Maybe that is why he left, but it doesn't matter why. What matters is how are they going to use him now? And this man who had served in the Tea Party, tried to serve as a candidate, did a show after, all this stuff has been consistent from day one with the Trump administration, with MAGA, is now going to go right back into it. He's been showing for years he's willing to do the work to progress this movement, and now he's back and he's going to progress it from the outside with insider status that he never had before. And this will make it one of the most powerful voices in countering the psyops there is. Bongino is back, and the first thing he does is say, go to hell, black pillars. I love it. I'm so glad to have another person I can trust on this side, because one of the missions of this show has always been stop blackpilling, bro. And at this point, we're at the point, the black pillars, I just, I every time I hear the word black pill, I just hear retardo now too. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So we are a movement guided by truth, he writes. The essence of conservative ideology of preservation of eternal truths. We are not the latest thing group. We're not political cannibals. I've watched quietly. Here it is. This is important. I've watched quietly from the inside. He's really touting this. He's doing exactly what I said he was going to do. Just a good guess, or do I just get this administration? I don't know. While doing the job I was hired to do, but I'm back now, and it's time to restore balance to the force. This is awesome. It's awesome. Hey, if you guys like Bongino, hit that like. As we get ready to make some announcements about the future of the show, I also want to warn the haters and the zeros. We've been at this a long time. We live for this stuff. This isn't our first, second, or 10th rodeo. So a lot of dipshits come and go. We revel in making you angry enough to show your ass is glorious. Again, what's he saying right now? Exposure. Revel in making you angry enough to show your asses. What do you think the Trump administration has been doing time after time after time? Again, pushing to the edge so that everybody comes out of the woodwork. Think of all the MAGA leaders or major influencers in the last few years that have been exposed, whether in politics or outside of politics. Over and over again, the exposure keeps happening. Marjorie Taylor Greene, freaking gone. She couldn't handle it. She quits. Thomas Massey, darling of MAGA and libtards. Well, now just darling of the libertards. People waking up. Candace Owens, no one's trusting her anymore. I mean, she still gets a lot of views. Don't get me wrong. There are people trusting her, but they're not the right people. Not the people that matter. Nick Fuentes getting exposed. It's just happening down the line. Dave Smith exposed. He was never really MAGA, but he definitely was helping promote Trump during the Biden years. And now he's fully against. That's what they do. That's what they do. Because once you're always against something, you can always get somebody to watch you. You can always hurt whoever you're going after a little bit until you're found out. We got midterms coming up. There's no time for BS. This administration is cooking and real change simmers. If you're spending your entire day bitching and whining with 3/4 of the term still to go, then please find the exits. No time for it. It's not infighting when you excise a cancer killing the host. It's outfighting because you're not part of any movement I'm familiar with. Love it. This is good, guys. This is good stuff. David says, I get mad there's no arrests of deep state. Just wait. They're building it. There's a reason they're building up the grand juries in Florida where they can't be ruined by DC types. His audience will be twice as big as D6. It's going to be big for sure. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. So Gotchsucker says, what did Bongino do? Well, I mean, other than, I believe he was Secret Service. He ran for Congress and lost. But he put up a successful show, and now he's been deputy director of the FBI for a year. I mean, that's not nothing. It's not nothing to build a big show either. I mean, it's hard unless you're being funded by somebody, which, Dan might have had a little bit of help, but there's nothing wrong with that. It depends on who is helping you get there. But to build a show, millions of viewers, that's not nothing. And to be deputy director of the FBI for a year, that's a big deal. So you could say, what has Dan done? I don't know. I look at him, I think he's done a lot. And if he's a big help going forward with creating or countering bad narratives, that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. So, he helped catch the pipe bomber, which he did as deputy director in the FBI. So yeah, I mean, dude, listen, I'm not like, Dan Bongino's the greatest guy ever. This is heaven sent to earth. That's not my point. And if that's the point you're taking from this, you're hearing it all wrong. My point is there's another operation going on here straight from the Trump administration. And that operation is now we have an insider who's going to be on the outside calling out, exposing, and crapping on the Blackpill psyops, the narratives coming from the fake MAGA types. Everything in these two posts tells me that Dan's whole point of being during the rest of this administration is going to be calling out the nonsense and setting records straight, which if you've been watching anything lately with all the psyops been going on, It's desperately needed from a big voice. A lot of us smaller voices have been trying to do it, but David asks, why do you think they're not arresting anybody in the state yet, the deep state? Well, first of all, they've started. Okay, the indictments went out for Comey, Brennan. We're getting there. Everybody who thinks that Trump could have just came in and started arresting everybody is crazy. They have no idea how our system works. And if we had listened to those people, if Trump had listened to those people and just started arresting everything, a couple of things would have happened. A, his political capital would have been dried up in 2 months. And he would have been able to get nothing done because all of DC would have turned on him and a whole lot of voters would have too. That's number one. So he has to build his time and bring exposure first so the people accept it and he can keep getting other stuff done. That's number one. Number two, if you don't do it right, you get these people to court and they're all set free. You have to have ironclad case upon ironclad case to even have a chance at getting these people locked up. And the next thing is you have to build these cases from the inside where you're dealing with complete corruption. The DOJ, Pam Bondi, had to lay off half of her attorneys because they were leftists, loyal to the deep state, not to that. So she's dealing with a smaller team. The FBI being purged, fighting from within. That's how they're purging a lot of the deep states, just by firing them. But those people need to be replaced because they have job loads, case loads. It takes time to build cases. It takes time to prosecute those cases. Then you got to get grand juries and juries for the trials. After the grand jury already says you can indict them, you have to get those outside of DC because DC is 93% liberal. If you have a case tried in DC, you get all liberal jurors who will let off their heroes no matter what they hear about them. Imagine Clinton or Obama going to a trial in DC. They're going to be found innocent no matter what you throw at them. Doesn't matter. So you have to do it right. If you're going to use the military, which many people theorize could happen, you have to build that case to the American people, which means get that election stuff out there. Prove the election fraud. Prove Russia was a scam. Prove it. Prove it in a way that the American people can see it and will accept the military being used against American citizens. It's work. It takes time. And everything Trump accomplished in his first year is incredible while also building all this behind the scenes. It's going to take time. And I'll tell you this, it's going to be a little disappointing for a lot of people. Some of the people you want arrested, it's probably never going to happen. But what will happen is their careers and reputations will be completely ruined and they will never recover. And so they'll be on kind of like a arrest but not arrested life where everything's taken from them. Their wealth, they're made to live in obscurity somewhere. And to the public, it'll look like, oh, Obama just, he disappeared. He just living rich somewhere. But truthfully, the guy's probably on house arrest for the rest of his life. That's what it'll look like. Okay? That's what it'll look like. Yeah, you know why, David? The Democrats, he wrote that it makes sense. It's impressed how fast the Democrats throw people in prison. Yeah. And listen why, David, they are able to do that. The Democrats are able to just throw people in prison. The J6ers, what they try with Trump, they're able to do that because they spent decades infiltrating and taking over the judiciary. So we have a country where half to 60% of our judges are corrupt. And they will throw out the law and just promote liberal ideology and liberal, I should say actually, the globalist movement, promote it through whatever means possible. They will do that. Look at all the times Trump's been thwarted by these corrupt judges. It's a miracle we got the Supreme Court as conservative as is because it's reforming the judiciary by continually slapping this stuff down, and then hopefully we start indicting some of these judges or at least impeaching them. That's what we need. But also we have a corrupt Senate still. which is still 60 to 70% corrupt. Even though it's 53% Republican, half of those Republicans are still uniparty. They have to be purged. That takes cycles, takes election cycles. The House, that Republican is probably 40% still corrupt, 30 to 40% still corrupt. That takes cycles to get rid of these people. This all takes time. This was never going to be Trump comes in and in 2 months everything's fixed. But he could lay the foundation. He could get the people on his side. He could start going after them and start exposing everything, get the people on his side, and then start getting the work done by the end of the term. And then you get the people so woken up and you get so much momentum going. You build an economy that everybody loves. You get peace in the world. You assert American dominance so the people are thriving and excited. And then you assure that your successor gets in. So JD Vance comes in, and now you have 8 more years of MAGA, and over that time, everything that you want to happen gets done. It takes time, guys. It takes time. But the question isn't, why hasn't it happened yet? Which I understand why people ask that, but that's the wrong question. The question is, can we keep the momentum? Can we keep doing the work? Blackpilling, all it does is waste time. It wastes time, it wastes energy, and it turns people away, which is resource. It wastes resources. And blackpilling is what will make us lose. The only way we win is that we keep sharing why and how this has got to happen. And we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and we support the only people who are giving us a chance to win. That's the only way we win. We don't spend our time sitting there complaining about everything they don't do on our timeline. That's not a knock on you, David. That's saying in general, like what Bongino's saying. It's a waste of time, and it doesn't help anything. And in fact, it's the quickest way to lose. We get one shot at this. One shot at this. If it doesn't happen now, we're looking at maybe having another shot in a generation or two. That's 40 to 80 years. I'm not waiting for that. I'm going to make sure we win now so my kids and grandkids get a better version of the USA than I got. That's my mission. And so I will never blackpill. I see the one shot we have, and I'm not going to waste it. We have people actually doing the work, and so it's time to put up or shut up. Get in line or get out of the way. And I have no time for blackpillers, influencers that are playing games. I'm just asking questions. No, you're not. There comes times in history where you line up behind your leader and you say, take me there. I trust you. And we in America for too long, and it's been because we've had terrible leaders, and it's been because we've been betrayed. And I get it. I do. But just because it hasn't happened in our lifetimes doesn't mean it should never happen. And sometimes when you vote for somebody, you actually believe in them, you give them the full 4 years before you start griping about them. Especially when all the gripes are just, we don't understand, or we don't really like how you're doing it. Instead of, oh yeah, you're actually destroying us. That's not happening. And that's not what everybody's complaining about. But people want to complain about that like it's happening again. And that's how I know that everybody complaining about this stuff is, again, either stupid and ignorant or bought off. They're part of the puppetry, the globalist puppetry, psyoping. And that's how I know. Because it's just too obvious what's actually happening. It's just too obvious. And speaking of obvious, Trump to the day, Insurrection Act, ready to go. Let me play this.
We're allowed to go back in. but we'll go back in when the crime starts. Look, the crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in, and we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used, the Insurrection Act.
At the appropriate time, we still have it in our back pocket, ready to use. Trump said that just yesterday. And then today, to the day, 6 years ago today, of a little Q post that shared a video right here. And then today,
our movement,
Trump shared it.
Our movement.
And I'm going to let him speak tonight. Then I'll come back and we'll pray. We'll finish up. But here's the video Trump shared today, 6 years to the day from the Q post that shared it, which, I think is notable. Just saying. Remember yesterday, Patriots in control? Well, here's what he shared today.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever's necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Whew. That is good stuff right there. You guys hyped? I'm hyped. Dang. So good. Anyways. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's going to do it for tonight. No blackpilling. No blackpilling allowed. That's not who we are. We're better than that. We're winning, and we're going to win like crazy. This is just the beginning. It's been a great 2025. 2026 is going to be off the chain. Off the chain. So, if you don't mind, guys, please help us show out by hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, repost if you're on X if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Let's end in a prayer because we need it. Remember, again, J.D. Vance house attacked today. They're going to try to take him out. So we got to keep praying for the protection of our great leaders. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless these people, Lord. Everybody watching, I pray your blessing over all of them, Lord. God, I pray that you'd be with President Trump and this team, all of his team, Lord. That you would protect them, give them wisdom, and give them boldness, Lord, to just keep doing what they're doing and get even more done. In Jesus' name we pray. We ask for prosperity, God, to come back to our land, justice to come back to our land, expose all the corruption, take out all the people that need to be taken out, and just and bring blessing back to this people, Lord. And then once it's fixed, we can be a blessing to others as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Bless you guys. Have a great night. No blackpilling. Hallelujah to that. Bless you guys. Like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.